This slideshow is all about how people are treated in a network leadership environment, how they're engaged and how they're motivated.
The idea of network leadership really started some 10 years ago when we were looking for change agents in organizations. We found that the most influential people were clustered in the middle and lower areas of organizations. I mean, they didn't follow the management hierarchy, they were not some wonderfully even democratic pattern. But essentially we found that these people, these key individuals, exercised their influence through a series of influence networks. After many years of development, the early ideas behind influencers and influence networks have evolved into the network leadership model, in which traditional leadership has changed fundamentally. Senior managers still set the broad business direction and exercise their judgment on major innovations, but both the process for producing a stream of business innovations and the users involved in practical change implementation are determined largely by knowledge and influence networks. What this means from a management perspective is that when they are looking to increase the rate of innovation, or when they are looking for support in getting things done across the organization, they can look down and see not just the traditional management hierarchy, but see a pattern of relevant informal leaders and their influence networks. By using these key informal hubs across the organization, they can initiate change and get change implemented far more effectively. And what happens to the hidden talent, those influencers and other local leaders who've been empowered to innovate and implement change? Well, the innovative influencers, they're the real change agents in the organization, will be involved very much on a part-time and occasional basis on various innovation and problem-solving teams, and also on change implementation teams. Some will also be involved, usually on a rotating basis, with internal communication teams, both during periods of major change and during periods of relative calm. Many of these key individuals will, over time, be promoted into a range of relevant management positions. And the other informal leaders, the knowledge leaders, collaborative leaders and so on, will be involved in relevant innovation and problem-solving teams and change implementation initiatives, again very much on a part-time occasional basis over time. And it's very important to recognize that these activities are all voluntary. There's no compulsion here. These innovative influencers and other local informal leaders are almost always hugely, very strongly motivated. And from an employee perspective, the whole idea of engagement becomes far more real, probably for the first time. When new ideas are being developed and when change is being implemented, times of traditional fear and uncertainty, many of the people involved are people they know and respect. They're the local influencers in many cases. These are the people they can talk to. They communicate with them daily. It's a relaxed and informal environment. There are no secrets about what's happening or even what's being considered. New ideas are encouraged, and increasingly, over a period of time, local innovative influencers are becoming local managers. And finally, if we look at the essentials of network leadership, we find that all this hidden talent is being effectively used for the first time, and as a direct result of that, we end up with a very different approach to leadership. The impossible task of continuously developing managers into super managers is basically replaced, and it's replaced by practical leadership through influence networks. The real super managers of the future are therefore going to be those who can best engage and focus the key individuals, the key hubs, across this leadership super network. And in the process, employee engagement and morale will be transformed.